Hi guys, welcome back to That Anything Guy. And it's been a while. I apologise. I've just had so much going on over the last few weeks, or a couple of months, I guess. Um, so yeah, we're back in action. Straight off the bat, we'll get into the Rambo origin film. So Millennium Media were at Cannes Film Festival last week, and they went with a package unveiling the idea of them prequelizing the Rambo franchise. So first blood essentially. So this script is coming from the director, yes. The writers, no. Black Adam writers Rory Haines and Sohrab Noshirvani. Sorry, butchering that last name. Apologies. The story is under wraps. It's been kept under wraps, but basically, in a nutshell, they're prequelizing Rambo with or without Sylvester Stallone, the original John Rambo's involvement. Now, when you say it like that, they're hardly going to de-age the guy, right? Understand that. If anything, he'll narrate the movie very much like Dexter Original Sin, which was a phenomenal series. We've got a second series confirmed. I'm so happy about that. We've also got Dexter returning in general, Resurrection this summer. So, like, you had Michael C. Hall narrating the series. So you could have Sylvester Stallone narrate, which is called, well, the prequel's called simply just John Rambo. It's a good title. I think Rambo 4, or just Rambo from 2008, was actually called John Rambo in certain countries. But yeah, I like the title's nice, but it should be called something like Rambo Origins. I don't know. I don't know if maybe, is that too on the nose? I don't know. But yeah, basically in a nutshell, it's as much as the story's under wraps, it's clearly going to be going back to Vietnam. So we're going to see Rambo going through the absolute shit that he endured whilst being in Vietnam. So we're not going to get this one-man killing machine that we got in the later sequels. We're going to get very much the Rambo we saw in First Blood. Obviously, he was more struggling with PTSD and the nightmare of Vietnam after Vietnam. So we'll see him in the shit, which I'm kind of excited about. But the thing that I'm really excited about, though, is the fact that it's going to have the director of Sisu, who the director is, what's the director called again? Jalmari Helander. Sorry. So Jalmari Helander, who is the director of Sisu, which was a fucking phenomenal action film. It was essentially what we need nowadays if it came to a Rambo reboot of some sort. Case in fact, a Rambo prequel. So he has a lot to say about it. So he's clearly locked in. He said, "I have been the biggest fan of Rambo since the age of 11. It's so surreal to be in a situation where I can actually make my own Rambo movie." So like, he's a fan of the franchise. And I know we've heard this before, we've had fans of movies before, franchises before, who've came in and gave us their version of a beloved character, and it's either turned out to be really shit or turned out to be really good. So him saying that, you think brilliant. Him directing Sisu, which was one of the greatest fucking movies of the last few years, or the greatest fucking action film of the last few years. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. There's a number 2. Sisu 2 is coming out either this year or next year. If he's making a Rambo movie, I'm excited, regardless of it having Stallone or not. The chain of events that got me here makes, in a fantastic way, my whole childhood make sense. I can't wait to bring the greatest action hero back to the big screen where he belongs. Because there has been talk, there was talk a few years ago about a Rambo continuation. So we had Rambo Last Blood, which was, it was okay, but Stallone should have just killed the character at the very end of the film. He had a moment where he was literally like dripping of blood, and you think, oh, that's pretty cool. And he sat in like a chair, and you kind of rocked back and forward, and he was dripping with blood, and the chair just stopped, and you think, oh shit, fair enough. After he's defended his house from the cartel, the Mexican cartel, and you think, alright, okay, fair enough. So he's just going to die peacefully. He then gets up off his chair, jumps on his horse, and fucks off into the sunset, and you're just like, wait, what? They had the perfect thing, they had the perfect way of doing it. Just kill him, done deal. But he's not. And there was going to be a continuation. It was called Rambo. It was a TV show called Rambo New Blood, and it was going to be like Rambo had like an illegitimate son with someone, and he was going to take over the reins, hence New Blood. Which, I don't... Nah. But this, I like the idea of this, because obviously now we've got that thing of who's going to play a young Rambo. And unfortunately, I don't have a list of ideas of who could play the next Rambo. I mean, Ryan Gosling at one point, Sylvester Stallone said that if Rambo was to come back, as in like a reboot of First Blood, that it was going to be, he was like, Ryan Gosling would be perfect. And Ryan Gosling, yeah, like he is, like if they go back to First Blood days of him being kind of small, still muscular, but smaller in size, yeah, and then build him up. My perfect idea for where a Rambo Origins could go, where as you do Origins Part 1, where he's in Vietnam in the shit, Origins Part 2, where the Vietnam War's almost over, and at the very end of it, it jumps to, say, you know, a couple of weeks later, and he's getting back to America, back to society. And then what you do for continuity wise is you pretty much remake First Blood. And then what you do is you end it with the way it was in the book, where John Rambo takes his own life and kills himself. That was shot and filmed for First Blood, but it was met with poor reception from audience, from like a private screening, and then or was it the studio? Something anyway, and they reshot it, and that's obviously what then gave us a whole franchise of Rambo, which the original writer of the book, the original author, didn't like. So what you could do is you do the origin film, maybe say one or two origin films, and then properly standalone remake First Blood, and at the very end of it, John Rambo, whoever he is, Ryan Gosling, whatever, takes his own life because of all the trauma and PTSD and the depression, and kills himself, and that's it. 3 films or 2 films, and that's it. The end, done. Do it the proper way of the book. But yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, like I said, the director of Sisu, I'm looking at that thinking, yeah, perfect. Whether it be an origin film or a new Rambo movie altogether, I'm looking forward to that. I said earlier, you're not getting the one-man killing machine just yet. So, but yeah, what do you guys think? Comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.